Okay, just a very quick update. Hasn't been much work done. I've been tidying up. So last weekend I went to some garage sales and was fortunate enough to get quite a few sheets of 3mm MDF for free. I've painted some. I've painted quite a few, in fact, but these ones, all of them that I've painted were painted with free paint that I got at a separate garage sale. So these are some more of the MDF sheets that I've got. Some are not painted yet, but not a bad pickup for free. Whether or not I use them in the long term, I don't know, but I've made a start just dressing the place up a bit for the NMRA crew that are coming this weekend. So I've tidied up, basically. So this area here, these are just mock-ups of the width of the aisleways and that in this area when the bottom levels go in. I've put, again, just quickly tacking in place the backdrop and top drop, I suppose you call it, where it curves over. Again, this is some of the MDF just tacked in place to show what it'll look like when it's finished. That area there is where the pop-up will be. Haven't quite worked out how it's all going to work yet, but it'll come together. Around here, so I put some of the MDF on there to pretty it up, to give people an idea of what it'll be like once these are all finished off. This is some stuff I have been doing, was basically just roughing in to get a bit of a feel for the scenery at Auto Club. So this is that bridge I was talking about in the last video. Again, just roughed in. I cut the foam to 60 degrees because I did some maths and worked out what angle I thought it was which came out to be 60 degrees. And then I found some plans, not for this particular bridge, but some plans that I got from the Sioux Historical Society archive for very similar bridges of the same age on the MN&S, and the gradient of the slope was 1 in 175. And when I asked Google what that turned out to be in degrees, it was 60.01 or something degrees. So my maths wasn't too bad. So that's the view looking across the bridge from Google Maps, and that will be the view looking that way. So that's how I'm looking at curving the road so it disappears off the scene. The position of the bridge could be here. I might move it back down here a bit. I'm not sure at this stage. But it's the bridge's main job is to hide the end of this scene, I guess, before it goes off to beyond. I extended the scenery out this far just to accommodate the other side of the bridge, because I thought that would look good to have the full bridge in the scene. Sorry, I'm just panning around. Yeah, and then again, I just put a bit of stuff up. None of this is glued in. It's all just temporary. So So when I was in Minneapolis a little while back, I walked up Auto Club Day, so you can see in off to the side here is where the yard itself was. The tracks are sitting quite a bit higher, the main line, and I'm kicking myself now, but this is as far as I walked, and you can see the bridge just up there at the end. If I can get my finger to point at it. Not really working. There's the bridge. Why? It was quite warm and it was quite a long walk, but I still wish I'd walked up there. But yeah, next time I probably will. Again, that's that photo looking from the bridge, which would be, oops, if I can get the camera to go point where I want it to, which would be this view here. So a bit of an embankment to the side where the track goes up. Obviously, the track back coming all the way back here is not correct for the prototype, but it's the best I can do. And then the rest of the yard will be down here. Coming around to this side, on this side, I just got a aerial photo of the area that I think at this stage will be here, and that is where the MN&S crosses over the Great Northern. I think it was the Great Northern, but I'll just say BN because I know that's right, because Great Northern or Northern Pacific. I think it's Great Northern. And this is food producers, the spur. So the MN&S spur comes in here. So that track there was like for sloughing off cars, and the track that came down here was the siding or the spur that ran right down to here. And there's some photos that on the internet somewhere of cars that got away and were hanging over the end here, a couple of tank cars. This spur here is I'm going to say Great Northern spur that ran into a lower level. So I've just put photos like that up around the place where I think they're going to go. So the track, when it comes out of the end of Auto Club, that's down there is the baseboard that's already been cut. That will come out and curve around to over the other side. Those boards that are sitting down there, basically the spiral which will be inside that frame, and the track will come out and go across the wall. So I'm not sure, do one or two loops or whatever to get down. They're quite wide, so that's the radiuses. Yeah, there's definitely room for two tracks. You could probably even get three tracks on those boards, but the outside track will be the track from Auto Club to Northfield. The inside track will come from the other side and join in, and it probably will go down more spirals, but again, not confirmed yet, and be the track that heads to Western Avenue and Glenwood Junction. So the track that curves out here, again, it won't be that wide because it's just not necessary. That will be the track that goes down to the Savage Swing Bridge, which will be against that wall. And turn that corner and and run right along the wall, slowly losing height to get down to the lower level. So I've got pretty much all the baseboards in place for the John Deere siding here. So I just scattered a bit of track and a few cars around that I had sitting on the layout. So first of all, that is the Masonic team track. That's Worldwide Inc. That's the building as it is today, which, whilst the colours may be a bit different, is pretty much, as far as I can tell, what was built there originally. It's I think a bit longer, but anyway, my building is going to be that size. The track's going to be inside, so that's where I'm going to have a camera set up inside the building, so the driver or engineer can see what he's doing when he's inside the building. Okay, so again, I've got photos up above. Oops. So this is progressive rail switching there. This area when I was there 2 years ago or 3 years ago, however long ago it was. So the locomotive and hopper car is going into the spur where those cars are sitting. The hopper car beside it is sitting on the cork that's got no rail on it, and the track in the foreground is this track here. Now, there was two industries on that track. One, I can't get the name of it at the moment, but it was end loading ramp that received heavy equipment. So that's what I just had a couple of flat cars, and I found that D8 Caterpillar sitting there, sitting on the other layout. So I whacked them together. The other company that used it was another plastics company. So there was unloading things beside the road, and that's this building here, roughly. Those hoppers cars are at Polytech. Now, obviously, they're not the right hopper cars, but just to show that there are hopper cars there. This is Grimmel, who received pipes and steel loads in gondolas. They had 1 car length inside the building and 4 car lengths outside the building. I've got a little bit less than that, but it'll have to do. Larson Transfer, who I'm not sure what they received, but they did receive stuff. This is where the freeway's going, and that's a photo of the bridge over the freeway. And then we get onto Oxborough. So, oops, this is the aerial photo. If I can get it to line up. So, this area here is the Zimler Caterpillar siding, or plant, whatever you want to call it. Down here is where there was a pile of dirt that I believe was basically an area just for customers to come and try out different bits of equipment, or maybe for the company to test equipment. I don't know, but from what I can see, it was just a big pile of dirt. Now it's more parking, but there were two tracks in there, and that's what they represent. This is just very roughly laid out. So there was a fairly short loop here for run around, which would have been used to run around for the switching over at the John Deere siding. But this is Oxborough. There's an end loading ramp here at Oxborough that there's some great photos of. Yeah, up the other end here, there's the Oxborough team track, Oxborough lumber or something, I think. I'm trying to remember, but yeah, there's a few industries here. So that's just again, the points are just laid there to give people a bit of an idea. And then we come down further. Down here, all along this length is where all these industries, you can see, every one of those yellow markers is an industry. There are so many, but the Marquette Cement and Minnesota Brick and Tile are on another loop like the John Deere one, although it's closer to what I've actually modelled up there. It's basically just a horseshoe loop, and that will be out over the aisle here. On the other side, with its being operated from the middle, is where Atwood will be, and some of their the tracks at Atwood that curve out at right angles will come out onto this side. I think the GM plant is one of them. That will be over on the other side, out in the middle, similar to what I've done down the other end at the John Deere siding. And then we go down and basically starting right at the end where this finishes, will be Richfield, the start of the Richfield loop, and then over in that corner over there will be Model Stone and then Lejeune Steel and all that. Okay. So that was took a lot longer than I expected. But again, I just put this stuff on, tacked in place to show what it's going to look like once it's complete. Obviously, it won't be white. That's a really dumb colour, but I just did it in white because I got a free undercoat from a garage sale. Anyway, I've put a handhold here just so people can steady themselves going down the steps and get it. It gives a bit of feedback to your body as to where the head height is for this, because whilst I can fit under it quite well, anybody that's taller than me, I'm 6'8", could potentially bang their head on it. So it's just a bit of a feedback. So that's about it for today. All right, cheerio. I just forgot this bit. So that's Northfield Yard at Northfield. That's the track here is the Milwaukee Road, I'm pretty sure. This track here is the C&W. The Rock Island had trackage rights here. Actually, Chicago Great Western, which obviously was C&W by then, but that's whose track it was. And the MN&S had trackage rights over that down to Fairblunt, however it's pronounced, and in the opposite direction to another place whose name I can't remember. But there you see a MN&S train that's arrived, all the cars in here. The Milwaukee Road and the Rock Island would come in this way and do interchange here. The other direction was Randolph. I believe that the M&S CGW interchanges happened at Randolph. and that's the MN&S main, or that's the M&S main, one of the two, but that one looks more mainline-ish. But there's a terrific photo on one of the MN&S Facebook groups that's taken down about where those engines are, looking at the yard. And there's some really good information in the comments, which is going to be very handy for working the yard. So the track that I was talking about running down the side, it will run right down here, turn the corner, run across the wall here, do a loop or two loops maybe, it depends on how all the gradients work out, and come back in to Northfield across here, and Northfield will be situated here. If I model any of Fairblunt, somebody's going to tell me how to pronounce it, that'll be right down the other end. And then there'll be probably some staging situated somewhere down there. But getting to Northfield is the prime objective. Beyond Northfield is just a nice to have.